loving Google Keep is because of its versatility. Google Keep at its core is great for note-taking, creating checklists, and setting timely reminders. You can access Google Keep from a variety of different places. Through your web browser, you can go to keep.google.com. You can also, in the Chrome web browser, visit the web store and download the Google Keep extension. Or if you're using an Apple or Android device, you could download the Google Keep app so that you're able to do these things on the go. When you arrive at the Google Keep site, you are able to start taking notes immediately. You give your note a title and you type your notes in the box here. Once you've started taking notes, you'll notice that the menu below allows you to set several different options. We're going to focus on the ability to set a reminder. The first little icon here that has the plus says Remind Me. What's really cool about this is you can decide when do you want Google Keep to remind you about this note or this task that you're setting for yourself. So here I have the option to do later today, tomorrow, or next week. I can even pick an exact date or time if neither of those work for me. The other really cool part about setting a reminder is being able to pick a place. So if I knew when I drove by a particular school that I needed to be reminded to email a teacher, then if I'm using the mobile app, I could get timely reminders from Google Keep about items on my to-do list. The other really cool part about using Google Keep is that you can set up to-do lists, checklist items for yourself, and that allows you to easily keep track of where you are on a task. To do this, you'll start your note as normal, and the three little dots here in this little menu will provide you with some more options where you are able to show checkboxes or hide checkboxes, depending on your need. Once you have a checkbox here, you are able to mark things off your to-do list, and it shows it here in Google Keep as something that is completed. So that helps you keep track and stay on task with where you are on a particular task. If you're using the Chrome web extension for Google Keep, this is super handy when you're visiting a particular website. Here I'm accessing the Making It Click blog, and I am going to just simulate what that process would look like if I wanted to take a few quick notes on this blog. I'm going to use my Google Keep Chrome extension up here at the top. When I click on it, you'll notice it titles my note already with the website that I'm using, Making It Click, and then it gives me the option here to start taking notes about the blog. And this might be something that maybe it's an instructional idea that I want to use in an upcoming lesson. And so I'm just going to title this Math Idea because I am aware that this blog is about something math related and I'd like to save it for later. What's really cool is now this note that I just took from this website is going to show up in live time on my Google Keep. So I can see here is my note, Math Idea. It links back to the original place I started taking notes, and then the notes that I took about that blog show up for me right beneath that website. This would be exceptionally good to show your students if they're working on a research project because all of their notes could be handy in one place. Second thing we're loving about Google Keep is its ability to keep you super organized. You can do this in Google Keep in a variety of different ways. One way would be to color code your notes. Once you've established a note in your Google Keep dashboard, then you're able to select the Change Color palette here and select a color for that particular note. This would be very helpful if you color coded your notes based on the topic that that note had something to do with. So maybe all of your math plans and ideas are going to be coded in yellow. Maybe you have generic notes about personal items that you're going to color code in purple. And then, of course, you could have this additional color for maybe your to-do list or priority items on your list. So color coding makes it just super easy to keep yourself visually organized. An added layer for organization would be the ability to add a label. So by clicking on these three dots, you have an additional menu here where you can click Add Label. And for this one, I may call it Math, since it was a math lesson plan idea. You can see that now that label is here and it's selected. It also added this label over here to the left-hand corner so that later if I wanted to go and access other math sticky notes, then I could just click on that label and see what I've kind of curated for that topic. The third thing would be to pin notes that are especially important. So maybe this to-do list is important and I want it to be at the top of my Google Keep notes. I'm going to click this little pin note thumbtack, and when I do that, it adds that pinned note to the top so that it shows up consistently every time I access Google Keep at the top of my list, and my other notes kind of fall beneath that. They're not gone, I'm not going to miss them, they're just not at the top and not viewed as priority. Also, you'll notice on this pinned note that I've added a header image. When you're accessing these toolbars down here at the bottom, this icon here where it says Add Image is going to let you browse for an image on your computer, and then once it's selected, it will add it up here to the top. These added images really help set your notes apart in Google Keep and visually just help you find what you're looking for a lot quicker. The third thing we're loving about Google Keep is its ability to be collaborative. Any note you have within your Google Keep can be shared with other users as you see fit. To do so, you'll click the plus sign under the note that you've started where it says Collaborator. Here you are able to add collaborators by email address. Once a collaborator has been added to a note, they are able to add additional note items, to-do list items. They're able to check things off the list. They're able to set reminders and interact with the note in all the ways that you have interacted with it before. This is exceptionally good for teams to share maybe an agenda from a meeting or maybe a to-do list before an event at school. I've even known families to use this tool as a shopping list so that if someone's stopping by the grocery store, it's easy to see what's needed. Anyone can add to the list and anyone can mark off items from the list as they've taken the trip to the store. The other way that you can further your collaboration is by turning any Google Keep note into a Google Doc. So you'll click the three dots here where it says More, Copy to Google Docs. When you do this, it will generate a Google Doc version of the note that you have taken. So here you can see my header image for my to-do list. You can see what was on my to-do list and what has already been completed. We can see this being used in the classroom in a variety of different ways. One way I can think of is possibly to document writing conferences or any kind of conference really that you're having with a student so that you could create the note for that student. Maybe you're going to add a label to that note for that student, and then maybe you're going to give them some to-do list items that you need them to accomplish during this work period. You could then share that note with them, or you could copy that over into a Google Doc and share that doc with them so that they can interact and keep you posted on their progress toward completing a task. The fourth thing we're loving about Google Keep are the built-in annotation tools. In this example, I've already added a note to my Google Keep, and I've added a header image by clicking the Add Image icon here. Once I click on this icon, it makes my note larger so that I can, of course, add to it down here at the bottom. But if I click on the header image just one more time, it will open it up to where I now have the pin available to annotate on top. It might look kind of different initially when you open it up, but you will have the ability to zoom in and out and scroll up or down, left and right, depending on the image that you've uploaded. So I've uploaded a graphic organizer here where the students will annotate maybe some writing ideas with their topic in the middle and some additional ideas in the bubbles surrounding that. Any notes that I make here on my graphic organizer are going to be transferred back to my original Google Keep note and saved for me to access later. So if I'm collaborating with someone on this note, they're going to see my annotations. If they make annotations, I'm going to get to see their updates to it as well. And so that really allows a lot of just more collaboration and a lot more versatility with the tool by being able to have students show their thinking instead of just typing it out for you to see it. So we can envision this being used for students to be able to annotate a particular text set that you have available for them, or maybe you want them to label a diagram or a picture from something that you're currently working on. The other option would be to add an image directly to a note. So here I'm going to start a new note, and I'm going to click my More button, and I'm going to click Add Drawing. So this is going to open up basically an interactive whiteboard for students to show their thinking, maybe on a math problem, maybe they're going to draw a diagram, maybe they're just going to practice something and they need some ruled paper or some grid paper, depending on what it is that you have them working on. Area and perimeter for math. The options really truly are endless. So again, here I have my blank template. I can use my draw tools within this in any way necessary, and then I can start to draw either with my finger or with my mouse on this grid paper. Multiple uses here. I'm sure you can think of many, but once I've made my drawing on my note, then I go back to it. That note is now visible for me to access later. Both of these notes, no matter which one I choose to use as my example, I can click the three dots, copy to Google Docs, and view this exact same annotation, the image, and any notes I've taken about that particular image. I can view all of that in a Google Doc version, and this becomes shareable. This becomes something that then I can use the commenting features that are native within all Google apps. Again, we love the annotation features, we love the versatility, and we can't wait to see ways that you come up with using this fun little tool. The fifth thing we're loving about Google Keep is its ability to transcribe different types of notes that you might need to take. This first example I have pinned here is actually a note that was taken through the mobile app using the voice recorder feature. This ability is only currently available on the Google app, so you'll need to download it on your Apple or Android device first. But once you do, you'll be able to just simply use it similarly to the way that you might use voice to text features on your phone currently. And what Google Keep does is it takes the recording, you have the ability to listen to it, but then it also transcribes that into text form so that later if you decide you don't need that audio recording, you can delete that portion and just move forward with using your notes. Or vice versa, you could just have recorded notes from various topics and ideas that you have along the way. So this is super useful if you're on the go, if you just need to make a quick reminder to yourself, you don't want to forget something, use that voice recorder feature and then know that you'll be able to access that recorded note across any of the different ways that you access Google Keep, because it will all sync up eventually. The other idea for using Google Keep for transcribing would be the image text grabber that is available through Google Keep. So in this next example, I've taken a picture from a page in the book called What Do You Do with an Idea? And so this page has some text on it. If I use these three dots down at the bottom where it says More, I can click the Grab Image Text option. And what Google Keep will do is it will actually take the text that's in this image and it will transcribe it down below. So I'm sure there are several ways that you can find application for grabbing image text. What's super neat about this is a great way to preserve text from an image that you may not necessarily need to keep. So later I might decide I don't need the image anymore. I really just needed the ideas that were there on paper. And now that I have them, I can delete that image, or maybe you don't need the transcribed text beneath it, you just wanted the image, then you have that preserved as well. I know there are many ways that you can find application for this in the classroom, and Grab Image Text, voice recording, both very easy ways to use Google Keep as a way to transcribe your ideas.